A series of unfortunate events is kind of a really good TV show. I absolutely love it. And today I'll be breaking down the new trailer for season 2. And of course, for those people who have not read the books, I won't be spoiling any major details, maybe even minor. So if you don't want to know anything going into the season, maybe it would be best not to watch this video, but add it to your watch later and come back when you have seen or read the books, or even watch season 2, by which time this video will be whatever. So roll the first clip.
From the moment I told the Baudelaires their parents perished in a terrible fire, they've had adventures in all sorts of exotic locales. I've just dropped them off at boarding school.
I know all about you. You've been sent to guardian after guardian, and adversity has always followed. I'm afraid that you'll have to live in a small tin shack.
Crabs.
Our shack is crabs.
So, as you can see here, these are shots from season 1 already about the Baudelaires' adventures in the first 4 books, until we introduced to a new character, Vice Principal Nero. Now, he is the childish vice principal at Proprock Preparatory School. His name is seemingly an allusion to the Roman Emperor Nero. Vice Principal Nero plays the violin, and he expects all the students to attend his daily 6-hour violin performances. In his first appearance, he gives Mr. Poe the approval to let the Baudelaires live in the orphan's shack, which we can see here. And going by the books, that means he will appear in season 3. Now, of course, the orphan shack does have crabs, but it is also the place where the Baudelaires actually meet the Cornmires for the first time.
Our parents were a part of something. It might be the reason all these terrible things keep happening. Count Olaf is still looking for us.
Does this seem like a nightmare? Because that's the effect I was going for.
Now, of course, if you didn't know, there is a library in every Lemony Snicket book, so of course there would be one here. We can see Violet and Klaus talking about that same picture that they got in the wide window, and Klaus is in that library. Now, we also see that Count Olaf is returning to his old school, but of course, he needs a disguise, and we'll talk about Count Olaf's disguise in these first 2 episodes later on. But you can see by the eye tattoo that is Count Olaf, and since this is his old school, he has to disguise. But his second disguise that he will go through in this season will be as Gunter. Now, Gunter is a disguise that Count Olaf has, and Gunter falls in love with Esme, who of course is a V.F.D member, and then becomes one of Count Olaf's acting troupe. So, this is another shot from the first teaser, which I haven't talked about before, but it's a very interesting shot. Let's move on to the next clip.
Who is this man?
That's Count Olaf in disguise. He's in the middle of a scheme to steal our fortune.
What sane man would disguise himself 4 times in a row?
Now, of course, we see Gunter again, but we also see Esme's husband, Rome Squalla. He's perhaps the most caring guardian of the Baudelaire children since Uncle Monty. But at the end of the Erat elevator, so pretty much the end of the 4th episode, Esme leaves Jerome to become a member of Count Olaf's troupe and Count Olaf's girlfriend. Also, let's talk about Count Olaf's disguises that are on the screen right now. First off, you can see his disguise from the Carnivorous Carnival. Then we get to see his disguise from the Vile Village. And that's the last time he ever has to disguise, unless for that one disguise in the last book, which fooled nobody. Then we get to see his makeover, which he gets in the hostile hospital, and Coach Jeggings, which is his disguise in episodes 1 and 2, because he's already been to preparatory school and they can recognize him. Now let's move on to the next clip.
We lost our parents in a fire.
We lost our parents as well.
We've seen a lot of things we can't explain, like a spyglass.
Where did you get that?
Then we get our first shot at the Quadmires, Duncan and Isadora. They are students here at the school, and they've become friends with the Baudelaires. Both families lost their parents in a fire, and will inherit a large fortune upon coming 18. So actually that's why they stick together, because they have something in common, and their family's debts are actually very common, and since they work out the mystery of the V.F.D, they decide they should stick together. And at the end of episode 2, they get kidnapped by Count Olaf and return in episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 if we go by the books. Also, Spyglass, that was just lovely. Before moving on, I want to talk about this. This does look like the person who burnt down the Quagmire's house, but again, spoilers prevent me from saying any bit more.
There's a secret.
We're part of a mystery and we'll never be free until we figure out what it is.
We have eyes everywhere, and we are always watching.
Aya.
And now this clip gives us our first V.F.D confirmation. It looks like books with the V.F.D content about what it is. And if you don't know what the V.F.D is, it's the Volunteer Fighting Disease Organization. So I can't wait for the Baudelaires to find clues about V.F.D in Season 2 and Season 3. Now, I was a bit surprised by this shot because the newspaper is floating. It's a Daily Pontilio newspaper, and that's where Eleanor Poe works, if you remember. And it says Olaf on it, so in the Earth's elevator, Olaf does get exposed, so maybe that's something that's going on there. Then we get our first look at Violet smashing down a wall and Jackus Snicket. We saw him in the previous trailer, and he shows up again in this trailer. But this shot is very ominous. He's actually going to die because he is mistaken for Count Olaf because of the tattoo on his ankle. Our next shot is of Esme in the Earth's elevator episodes, and she is looking pretty cool. Then we get a teacher at the preparatory school, and I think this is Mrs. Bass or Mrs. Bass. Sorry, I don't know which one to say. In the book, she has black hair, but the rest of that fits her description, so I'm guessing that's her. Then, after a quick shot of Madame Lulu, we get to see the council elders of the Vile Village before seeing a waiter, and there were some set photos that showed that Gunter and Esme were actually dining at this restaurant that we see. I'm pretty sure that's in the Vile Village. Then we see Hal. He's going to be the hostile hospital, and he's the bookkeeper and the Baudelaires' unofficial guardian for that books. Then we get the High Court, which is in the Earth's elevator, and then these V.F.D shots, where I think in the Vile Village, they go and they join the V.F.D after seeing it in a newspaper, and they think it could lead to the disastrous things that are happening. So that's pretty cool. The Volunteer Fighting Disease Organization. I can't wait for the Baudelaires and the Quagmires to figure this out.
We don't have much time.
I think I've got it.
Open up in there!
No!
Please?
Now in this shot, we do get to see Esme and Gunter finally building up their relationship, and I think this is in the Earth's elevator episode. But then in the hospital, we see that Violet and Klaus have fixed a projector and are looking for V.F.D answers, and hopefully they get them.
This time, I have no mercy. I won't be satisfied with just your fortune. I will obliterate you in the cruelest way imaginable.
The camaraderie at this hospital is really inspiring.
Now in this shot, we get to see Count Olaf giving Violet a surgery for no reason whatsoever, and he's presenting it to the V.F.D members. And then in the top left corner, you can see the V.F.D balloon, and it's red this time like the books, so I'm very excited for that. Roll the next clip.
We need to keep moving.
I wish you luck. I think you're going to need it.
This episode in the lives of the Baudelaires is about to get much, much
worse.
So we get a cool shot with Sunny driving the car into the sunset. And this is a shot where the Baudelaires are actually helping the Quagmires escape from the V.F.D village. And I can't wait for that. Then we get possibly Baudelaire's last talk with Jerome before, well, he doesn't really want to help them find the Quagmires, so they leave him. And then also a cool and interesting shot, a carnival from the Carnivorous Carnival is rolling off a cliff. That's interesting. And going back to probably episode 4, Sunny is climbing up the elevator, I think. I don't know, it's pretty dark, and I'm pretty sure I can see her siblings down there too. Then we get 2 of Count Olaf's henchmen, which I do not recognize, so they're probably new henchmen, and Count Olaf burning down the Caligari Carnival. And then, of course, we get the return of Lemony Snicket and his amazing narration, which I absolutely loved in season 1. So he hasn't really been the promotion material, now he has, and I can't wait.
How's work, Sonny?
Faster! You type like a 1-year-old.
The end credit scene of this trailer features Sunny as she works in Vice Principal Nero's office, and it's hilarious. So thank you guys so much for watching my breakdown of the new Lemony Snicket trailer. Now, of course, are you going to be watching a series of unfortunate events season 2 when it hits on March 30th? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.